Hello, this webinar focuses on the beauty of local government. Now, we've used this graphic in this series to show the different levels of government. We're going to be focusing on the local government as it interacts with the people themselves. Patrick Henry said this about the vertical separation of power. It's a cascade of power in a vertical structure where the national government interacts with states, state governments interact with counties, county governments are the ones that interact with towns and the people. The principle of liberty is that only local governments interact with the people themselves. This is profound. Local government is the best government because local government is the only government to deal directly with the people. For the last century, this has not been practiced in the United States. But localism is the best expression of liberty. Localism and decentralized power is the best expression of freedom in government, and it was the way America was originally founded. These principles were applied in 1620 when the Plymouth Pilgrims came. The principles of 1776 in the Declaration articulated these ideas, as well as the principles of 1787 in the United States Constitution and the American constitutional system. For almost 300 years, this philosophy was taught and lived out, from 1620 until 1913. Thereafter, the teaching and practice of these principles fell off dramatically. Well, when talking about local government, we need to talk about the citizens themselves. And the universal belief in the United States is that citizens practiced self-government. That is, citizens owned themselves, their personhood. They were responsible. They were responsible for their successes as well as their failures. They were responsible to cultivate their skills, abilities, and talents. And so there's a sense of self. The citizen also owned his mind. That is, he cultivated his mind, his ideas, and these were his properties. The citizen also owned physical property. Citizens practiced self-government over all of these properties of self, of his mind, and of physical property. Local governments supported citizens in their self-government, and the local government's role was to secure and protect the rights of the citizens to practice these principles of self-government. So in the original design of the American constitutional system, the citizens would interact with local governments and local governments would interact with the citizens. But there was a wall of separation. And that wall of separation in the original design was a wall of separation between the federal government and the people themselves. The people only interacted with local government and occasionally with state governments. This was the wall of separation the founders intended. There is also a spiritual component to this in the citizen's mind. For this 300-year period, an individual's stewardship of property, self, talents, fruits of labor, land, and other physical items was done not according to the citizen's own fancies, but as an active stewardship before God. So why was this original system such a great idea? Well, the reason was when there's more responsibility locally, there's more opportunity for people to learn the skills of governing. It starts with the ability to first govern themselves, then to govern their families, then to lead in the community, an organization, a church, or business, and then to lead in local government. It also had the profound effect of allowing people to fail. Failure is a great teacher. When a self-governing individual experiences failure and the full impact of their decision-making and its results, it helps challenge, motivate, inspire them to try a different path, a different vision to achieve their goals. This is instrumental to helping a person grow and mature. Without it, people won't grow and mature. Local government is key to this happening, to cultivate this process of people becoming self-governing. Now, some people will be surprised that many of these ideas have a spiritual fountainhead. That is, localized government is an outgrowth of biblical thinking. Look at these ideas the founders explored as they studied history and as they looked for universal truths that could be applied to government and creating an American constitutional system. Firstly, rulers are not divine, but themselves are subject to a higher law. Second, accumulation of power always leads to corruption and should therefore be limited, checked, decentralized, and safeguarded. Thirdly, private property, self, intellect, physical, is to be protected. Fourthly, individuals' right to practice self-government is a God-given right given by the Creator, and they're to be a steward over all their properties. And then fifthly, societal relationships are based on legally binding social, civil, and economic contracts. All of these ideas have their roots in biblical theology. They realized that the best system that would provide freedom and liberty would be one of self-governing individuals interacting with a local government. Now, Dr. McDermott has this to say about this overall concept. There's no issue of having anymore a national one-size-fits-all government that's forced upon you by a distant, disaffected, and self-interested government. That's what the colonies had when they were dealing with Great Britain. McDermott goes on. There was a standard that states to be admitted to the Union needed to have representative government in the form of a republic with a written state constitution. But within that state and under that state constitution, local communities could choose their representatives and make the laws and guidelines they wanted to live by. He goes on. One county may not approve of the actions of a neighboring county, but that's the beauty of decentralization. You can move 2 miles and be in a jurisdiction you like better. Or if you like your chances, you can stay and work for political change at home. It will sure be easier to achieve change locally than it ever would be nationally. Life is so much better when you have 36 choices available than when a one-size-fits-all government solution is crammed down your throat. And Dr. McDermott is a study of both historical and current local government and the strength of that system. He finds himself highly aligned with founding fathers Sam Adams and Patrick Henry. Patrick Henry and Sam Adams understood the importance of decentralized power. The highest they ever served were in their state governorships. They held these roles in the highest of esteem. They knew the power and beauty of state and local government. As we conclude, let me quote Jefferson one more time. Every state again is divided into counties, each to take care of what lies within its local bounds. Each county again into townships or wards to manage minuter details. It is by this partition of cares, descending in gradation from general to particular, that the mass of human affairs may be best managed for the good and prosperity of all. Now that is real beauty and diversity, and a healthy nation. My name's Craig Seibert. Thanks for listening.